The Discovery Captain Zara Vex stood on the bridge of the Coalition patrol vessel Starlight Dawn, her silver skin reflecting the soft blue glow of the control panels. Her large, violet eyes studied the sensor readings with growing curiosity. The Altarian officer had been patrolling the edge of what was once human space for 3 years, and nothing had ever changed in this dead sector. "Captain," called Lieutenant Thorne from the sensor station. The young Centaurian's forearms moved quickly across his controls. "I'm detecting an unusual energy signature. It's coming from the Kepler asteroid field." Zara's elegant features showed. Surprise! The Kepler field had been empty for over a century. When the humans disappeared, so did all their technology. The Coalition had searched every asteroid and found nothing but cold rock and metal debris. "What kind of energy signature?" she asked, moving closer to examine the readings. "I've never seen anything like it," Thorne replied. His voice carried the musical quality of his species. "It's massive, Captain. Whatever is generating this power is bigger than our ship." Zara felt her heart skip a beat. Both of them. The Altarian physiology gave her species incredible intuition, and right now every instinct told her this was important. She activated the ship's communication system. "All stations. This is the captain. We're investigating an anomaly in the Kepler field. Science teams to stations. Security teams on standby." The Starlight Dawn changed course, its quantum engines humming with power. The ship was sleek and graceful, like most Coalition vessels. It was built for exploration and peacekeeping, not war. The Coalition had learned long ago that cooperation worked better than conflict. As they approached the asteroid field, the energy readings grew stronger. Zara watched the tactical display with growing excitement. After decades of empty space, something was finally happening in the dead human sector. "Captain," Thorne said suddenly, his voice filled with awe, "you need to see this." The main screen showed the asteroid field ahead. But something was wrong. The asteroids were moving. Not drifting randomly, as they should, but moving with purpose. They were spreading apart, creating a clear path through the field. "By the 7 moons," Zara whispered, "something's coming through." The first thing they saw was a light. Not the harsh glare of a weapon, but a soft, golden glow that seemed to pulse like a heartbeat. Then the ship itself began to emerge from behind the largest asteroid. It was massive, easily twice the size of the Starlight Dawn, with a hull that gleamed like polished bronze. The ship's design was unlike anything in the Coalition fleet. Where? Coalition ships were smooth and elegant. This vessel was angular and aggressive. It looked like it had been built for war. "Unknown vessel," Zara said into the communication system. "This is Captain Zara Vex of the Coalition ship Starlight Dawn. Please identify yourself." For a moment, there was only silence. Then a voice came through the speakers. It was warm and strong, with an accent that Zara had only heard in historical recordings. "Coalition vessel Starlight Dawn. This is Commander Elena Vasquez of the Terran ship Phoenix Rising. We are human." The bridge of the Starlight Dawn fell silent. Every officer turned to stare at the main screen. Humans had been extinct for over a century. The hegemony had made sure of that. They had burned every human world and destroyed every human ship they could find. "That's impossible," Thorne whispered. "The humans are all dead." But Zara was already moving to the communication console. Her training as a Coalition officer kicked in. First contact protocols were clear, even if the contact was with a supposedly extinct species. "Commander Vasquez," she said carefully, "we believed all humans were destroyed by the hegemony over 100 years ago. How is this possible?" Elena's laugh came through the speakers. It was not a happy sound. "The hegemony tried very hard to kill us all. They succeeded in destroying Earth and most of our colonies, but some of us escaped. We've been hiding, building, and preparing. Preparing for what? Zara asked. To come home. The revelation. The two ships hung in space, facing each other across the void. The Phoenix Rising was clearly more advanced than anything the Coalition had built. Its hull showed no signs of battle damage, but there was something about its design that spoke of long years in hiding. Captain, Thorne reported quietly, I'm reading incredible energy signatures from their ship. Their power output is off the charts, and their hull configuration suggests weapon systems we've never seen before. Zara nodded, but kept her focus on the communication channel. Commander Vasquez, I need to report your presence to Coalition Command. This is the first contact with your species in over a century. I understand, Captain. But before you make that report, there's something you need to know. We're not the only ones who survived. The main screen changed, showing Elena Vasquez on the bridge of the Phoenix Rising. She was a woman in her 40s, with dark hair pulled back in a military style. Her brown eyes were hard, but not unkind. She wore a blue uniform with silver insignia that Zara didn't recognize. Captain Vex, Elena continued, we've been monitoring Coalition communications for years. We know about the hegemony's expansion. We know they've been pushing into Coalition space. And we know they're planning something big. What kind of something? Zara asked. Alana's expression grew grim. The same thing they did to us. Complete extermination. The hegemony doesn't just want to conquer the galaxy. They want to be the only intelligent species in it. Behind Elena, other humans worked at control stations. They moved with the efficiency of a well-trained crew, but there was something else in their movements. A desperate intensity that spoke of years spent preparing for this moment. How many of you are there? Zara asked. Enough, Elena replied. We've built a fleet, Captain. Hidden in the spaces between stars, we've been preparing for this day. The day we could return and make the hegemony pay for what they did to Earth. Dr. Marcus Chun stepped into view behind Elena. He was a thin man with gray hair and intelligent eyes. Captain Vex, we've developed technologies that the galaxy has never seen. Quantum fold drives, adaptive armor, weapons that can tear holes in space itself. We've had over a century to perfect our designs. Zara felt a chill run through her. The humans had been preparing for war for over 100 years. What kind of weapons had they created in all that time? Dr. Chun, she said carefully, the Coalition is a peaceful organization. We don't believe in solving problems through violence. Elena's smile was cold. Neither did we, Captain. But the hegemony didn't give us a choice. They taught us that sometimes violence is the only language certain species understand. The Coalition has been at peace with the hegemony for 20 years, Zara said. We have treaties, trade agreements. The war you're talking about ended decades ago. Did it? Elena asked. Then why are hegemony ships massing at the edge of Coalition? Space. Why are they building new weapons platforms in the Outer Rim? Why are they testing biological weapons on uninhabited worlds? Zara's violet eyes widened. How do you know about that? Because we've been watching, Captain. We've been preparing. And we've been waiting for the right moment to reveal ourselves. The warning, the communication channel, carried a new tension now. Zara looked at her crew, seeing the same questions in their eyes that she felt in her own mind. Could the humans be telling the truth? Was the Coalition in danger? Captain, Ensign Kaio Cuffer said from the pilot station. The young human looked barely old enough to be in space, but his hands moved over the controls with practiced skill. We're detecting multiple ships approaching from the Veil Nebula. They're not broadcasting Coalition identification codes. Elena's expression hardened. That would be the Hegemony Advanced Scout Fleet. They've been tracking our emergence signal. It seems they're not happy about our return. How many ships? Zara asked. 12 heavy cruisers, 4 battleships, and a command dreadnought, Kai reported. They'll be here in 15 minutes. Zara felt both her hearts racing. A hegemony fleet that size could destroy both ships easily. The Coalition hadn't built warships in decades. They had no weapons that could match hegemony firepower. Captain Vex, Elena said urgently, I suggest you withdraw immediately. Your ship isn't built for this kind of fight. I'm not abandoning you, Zara replied. Coalition law is clear. We protect all sentient life. Elena's smile was genuineness. Time. Thank you, Captain. But we didn't come here to hide. We came here to send a message. The Phoenix Rising began to change. Hull panels slid open, revealing weapon systems that gleamed with deadly purpose. The ship's engines flared brighter, and energy began to build along its hull. Dr. Chun, Elena said, turning to her science officer. Bring the quantum fold drive online. Kai, prepare the Phoenix Protocol. All hands, battle stations. Captain, Thorne called from the sensor station. The human ship is powering up weapons I've never seen before. Energy readings are incredible. Zara watched in fascination as the Phoenix Rising transformed from a sleek exploration vessel into a weapon of war. Every line of the ship seemed designed for one purpose, to destroy anyone who threatened humanity. Commander Vasquez, she said into the communication system. What is the Phoenix Protocol? Alana's voice was calm, but filled with determination. It's what we do when we're outnumbered, Captain. We rise from the ashes. The hegemony fleet appeared. On the edge of sensor range. 17 ships, all of them built for war. Their hulls were dark and angular, covered in weapons and armor. They moved in perfect formation, like a pack of hunters closing in on their prey. Human vessel, a voice growled over the communication channel. This is Admiral Keth Drazon of the Hegemony War Fleet. You will surrender immediately or be destroyed. Alana's laugh was sharp. Admiral Drazon, I remember you from the historical records. You were there when Earth burned. You personally oversaw the destruction of the Luna. Colonies. The humans are extinct, Drazon replied. Whatever you are, you're not human. The hegemony made sure of that. You made sure of nothing, Alana said. You destroyed our worlds, killed our families, and scattered us to the void. But you didn't destroy the human spirit. You didn't destroy our will to survive. And you certainly didn't destroy our ability to learn from our mistakes. The Phoenix Rising moved forward, placing itself between the starlight dawn and the approaching hegemony fleet. 1 ship against 17. It should have been suicide, but Zara was beginning to understand that humans didn't think like other species. They didn't calculate odds or consider retreat. When cornered, they fought. When outnumbered, they found a way to even the odds. Captain, Thorne reported, the human ship is doing something to local space. I'm reading quantum distortions all around their vessel. Elena's voice came through the communication system one more time. Captain Vex, you're about to see why the galaxy should never have counted humanity out. We may have been hidden for a century, but we never stopped being human. The Phoenix Rising began to glow with golden light. The quantum distortions around the ship grew stronger, warping space itself. Whatever the humans had planned, it was about to begin. Admiral Drazon's fleet opened fire. Energy beams and missiles streaked across space toward the lone human ship. For a moment, it looked like the Phoenix Rising would be destroyed instantly, but the human ship simply wasn't there anymore. It had folded space around itself, stepping out of normal reality for just long enough to avoid the enemy fire. When it reappeared, it was in the middle of the hegemony formation. Impossible, Drazon snarled over the communication channel. Not impossible, Elena replied. Just human. The Phoenix Rising opened fire with weapons that turned night into day. Beams of pure energy lanced out, striking 3 hegemony ships simultaneously. The enemy vessels didn't just take damage. They simply ceased to exist, torn apart by forces that violated every law of physics Zara knew. By the 7 moons, she whispered, "What have they built?" The battle was just beginning, but already Zara could see the truth. The humans hadn't just survived. They had evolved. They had become something new, something stronger than they had ever been before. And they had come home to stay. The dance of war in the space around the Kepler asteroid field became a storm of light and energy. The Phoenix Rising moved through the hegemony formation like a dancer, impossible to predict and impossible to catch. Each time Admiral Drazen's ships fired, the human vessel simply folded space and appeared somewhere else. Captain Zara Vex watched from the bridge of the Starlight. Dawn, her violet eyes wide with amazement. Her ship's sensors could barely track the human vessel as it moved through dimensions that shouldn't exist. "Captain," Lieutenant Thorne called from his station, "I'm reading quantum signatures unlike anything in our databases. The human ship is literally stepping outside normal spacetime." Elena's voice came through the communication system, calm despite the chaos around her ship. "Captain Vex, I recommend you maintain distance. Our quantum wake could damage your ship's systems." 3 more hegemony vessels exploded in brilliant flashes of light. The Phoenix Rising had somehow managed to fire through folded space, striking enemies from angles that defied geometry. Admiral Drazen's perfect formation was falling apart. "All ships, concentrate fire on the human vessel." Drazen's voice roared over the communication channels. "Use everything we have." The remaining hegemony ships unleashed a storm of weapons fire. Energy beams, plasma cannons, and fusion missiles filled the void. For a moment, it looked like nothing could survive in that deadly space. But the Phoenix Rising was no longer there. It had folded space around itself, becoming a ghost ship that existed between dimensions. The hegemony weapons struck empty vacuum. "Impossible," Drazan snarled. "No ship can move like that." Elena's laugh carried across the communication channel. "You're thinking like a hegemony admiral, Drazan. You see space as something to move through. We learned to see it as something to shape." The human ship reappeared directly above the hegemony. Flagship. At point-blank range, it fired a weapon that Zara had never seen before. A beam of pure white light struck the enemy dreadnought, but instead of causing an explosion, it simply made the massive ship fade away like a ghost. "What just happened?" Zara asked. Dr. Marcus Chun's voice came through the communication system. "Quantum dissolution beam. It breaks the bonds between atoms. The target ship is still there, just spread out over several cubic light years." Zara felt both her hearts skip. The humans had developed weapons that could unmake matter itself. What other technologies had they created during their century of hiding? "Captain," Thorne reported, "I'm detecting new contacts approaching from the Veil Nebula. Coalition ships incoming fast." "How many?" Zara asked. 12 vessels, including 2 heavy cruisers and a battleship. Admiral Corrin's task force. Elena's voice cut through the communication channel. "Captain Vex, I suggest you contact your admiral immediately." The hegemony fleet was just the advance force. Long-range sensors show over 100 enemy ships massing in the outer rim. Zara opened a channel to the approaching coalition fleet. "Admiral Corrin, this is Captain Vex aboard the Starlight Dawn. We have a first contact situation that requires immediate attention." Admiral Corrin's weathered face appeared on the main screen. The veteran Altarian officer had commanded coalition forces for over 30 years. His expression showed the calm professionalism of someone who had seen everything. "Captain Vex, explain the situation. We detected massive weapons discharged from your position." "Sir, we've made contact with human survivors." They're engaged in combat with a hegemony fleet. Corin's violet eyes widened. Humans? That's impossible. The species has been extinct for over a century. Not extinct, sir. Hidden. And they've developed technologies that surpass anything in our databases. The remaining hegemony ships were retreating, their formation broken and their flagship destroyed. The Phoenix Rising made no move to pursue them. Instead, it positioned itself between the Coalition fleet and the asteroid field. Coalition fleet? Elena's voice came through the communication system. This is Commander Elena Vasquez of the Terran Defense Force. We request permission to approach and discuss terms. Admiral Corin studied the human ship through his sensors. Commander Vasquez, Coalition records show that your species was destroyed by the hegemony over 100 years ago. How is your survival possible? Admiral, some of us escaped before the final assault on Earth. We've been hiding in the deep void, building our strength and waiting for the right moment to return. And what moment is that? Corin asked. Alana's image appeared on the Coalition fleet's communication screens. Her brown eyes were hard, but honest. The moment when we could make a difference. Admiral, the hegemony is planning a final assault on Coalition space. They intend to complete what they started with humanity. We have treaties with the hegemony, Corin replied. Peace agreements that have held for 20 years. Admiral, Dr. Chun's voice cut in. We've been monitoring hegemony communications for decades. They're massing over 1,000 ships at the edge of Coalition space. Their biological weapons programs have developed viruses specifically designed to target Coalition species. The peace treaties are just a delay tactic. Corin's expression darkened. Do you have proof of these claims? We have more than proof, Elena said. We have the location of their main staging area, and we have the ability to stop them. The Gamble, the Coalition fleet, and the Phoenix Rising hung in space while their commanders debated. On the bridge of the Starlight Dawn, Zara watched the tactical displays with growing concern. If the humans were telling the truth, the Coalition was in terrible danger. Captain, Thorne reported, I'm detecting another energy signature from the human ship. Something big is building up in their engineering section. Elena's voice came through the communication system. Admiral Corin, I'm about to demonstrate something that will prove our good intentions. We're going to share our quantum fold technology with your fleet. What does that mean? Corin asked. It means we're going to show you how to move your ships the way we move ours. Instantaneous travel across vast distances. No more weeks of travel between star systems. No more vulnerability to enemy fleets. Dr. Chun appeared on the screen beside Elena. Admiral, we're transmitting the basic principles of quantum folding to your science teams. With your permission, we'd like to upgrade your flagship's engines as a demonstration. Corin looked skeptical. Why would you share advanced technology with us? What do you want in return? Elena's smile was sad. We want what we've always wanted, Admiral. A place to call home. The right to exist without fear. And maybe, if we're lucky, some allies who believe that cooperation is better than conquest. The hegemony will never accept human survival, Corin said. They'll see your return as a threat to their expansion plans. Then we'll have to convince them otherwise, Elena replied. Or stop them from expanding. The Phoenix Rising began to glow with golden light. Energy streamed from the ship toward Admiral Corin's flagship, surrounding the Coalition vessel in a quantum field. Admiral, his chief engineer reported, we're reading massive power increases in our engine systems. Something is restructuring our quantum coils. Is it dangerous? Corin asked. No, sir. It's incredible. Our engine efficiency just increased by 400%. Elena's voice came through the communication system. Admiral, your ship can now fold space just like ours. The modification is permanent and will allow you to travel anywhere in the galaxy in minutes instead of months. Corrin stared at his tactical display. The human gift was beyond price. With this technology, the Coalition could defend every world, respond to any threat, and explore regions of space that had been unreachable. "Commander Vasquez," he said slowly, "this technology is worth more than entire star systems." "Why are you giving it to us?" "Because that's what humans do," Helena replied. "We share what we have with those who share our values. And from what we've observed, the Coalition believes in the same things we do: freedom, cooperation, and the right of all species to exist." Suddenly, alarms began sounding on every ship. In the fleet, long-range sensors detected a massive energy signature approaching from the direction of hegemony space. "Admiral," Thorne reported from the Starlight Dawn, "I'm reading over 50 ships approaching at maximum speed. Hegemony reinforcements, ETA 12 minutes. Elena's expression hardened. Admiral Drazan called for backup. "This is about to become a much larger fight. Coalition fleet, this is Admiral Corrin. All ships prepare for combat. We will not abandon our new allies." "Admiral," Elena said urgently, "your ships aren't equipped for this kind of battle. Even with the engine upgrades, you don't have the weapons to match hegemony firepower." "Then what do you suggest?" Corrin asked. Elena looked at Dr. Chun, who nodded grimly. "We're going to have to use the Phoenix Protocol. Full deployment." "What is the Phoenix Protocol?" Corrin asked. "It's what we do when we're outnumbered and outgunned," Elena replied. "We turn one ship into many." The Phoenix Rising began to change. Hull sections separated and reformed, creating multiple smaller vessels. Each new ship glowed with the same golden light as the original. In minutes, one human ship had become 12. "By the 7 moons," Zara whispered. "They can divide their ship?" "Not divide." Dr. Chan's voice came through the communication system. "Multiply. Each Phoenix module contains a complete quantum fold drive and full weapon systems. We learned long ago that a single large target is too vulnerable. Better to be many small ones. The final stand, the space around the Kepler asteroid field, became a battlefield unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. 50 hegemony ships faced 12 coalition vessels and 12 Phoenix modules. The odds were still against them, but the humans had evened the playing field. Admiral Drazen's voice roared across the communication channels. "All ships, destroy the human vessels immediately. They cannot be allowed to survive." The hegemony fleet opened fire with everything they had. A void filled with energy beams and missiles. But the Phoenix modules moved like living things, folding space around themselves and appearing in unexpected locations. "Coalition fleet," Alana's voice came through the communication system. "Follow our lead. We'll show you how to use your new engines." Admiral Corrin's flagship folded space for the first time, appearing behind a hegemony cruiser. The Coalition ship's weapons might have been older, but they were still effective at point-blank range. "Incredible," Corrin said as he watched his ship move in ways he had never imagined. "This changes everything." The battle became a 3-dimensional dance of light and energy. Ships folded space to avoid enemy fire, appeared behind their targets, and vanished again before return fire could reach them. The hegemony's numerical advantage meant nothing when they couldn't hit their enemies. "Captain," Thorne reported to Zara, "the human vessels are coordinating their attacks perfectly. They're fighting as a single entity." Elena's voice came through the communication system. "Captain Vex, we need you to deliver a message to Coalition Command. Tell them about the hegemony's true plans. Tell them about the massive fleet gathering in the Outer Rim." "What about you?" Zara asked. "We're going to make sure Admiral Drazan doesn't report back to his superiors. The hegemony can't know the full extent of our capabilities." Not yet. The Phoenix modules suddenly changed tactics. Instead of fighting defensively, they went on the attack. Each module targeted a different hegemony ship, using weapons that seemed to bend the laws of physics. "Admiral," Dr. Chon's voice came through the communication system. "We're about to demonstrate our final weapon. Please maintain safe distance." The 12 Phoenix modules arranged themselves in a perfect circle around the remaining hegemony fleet. Golden light began to build between them, creating a web of energy that surrounded the enemy ships. "What are they doing?" Corin asked. "Something we hoped we'd never have to use," Elena replied. "A quantum implosion field. It will collapse local spacetime, creating a temporary black hole." "That's impossible," Corin said. "The energy requirements alone would require the combined output of 12 quantum cores operating in perfect synchronization." Dr. Chun finished. "Which is exactly what we have." The golden web of energy began to contract. The hegemony ships tried to escape, but their weapons and engines were failing as local spacetime became unstable. One by one, the enemy vessels were pulled into the collapsing field. "Admiral Drazon," Elena's voice came through the communication system. "You have 30 seconds to surrender before the field reaches critical collapse." "Never," Drazon snarled. "The hegemony will never surrender to extinct humans." "Then you can be extinct with us," Elena replied. The quantum implosion field reached critical mass. Space-time collapsed into a point of infinite density, then exploded outward in a burst of pure energy. When the light faded, the hegemony fleet was gone. Not destroyed, but erased from existence. The 12 Phoenix modules slowly came back together, reforming into the original Phoenix Rising. The ship's hull showed no signs of damage, but Zara could see the exhaustion in Elena's face on the communication screen. "Admiral Corin," Elena said, "we've bought you time. But the main hegemony fleet is still out there. They'll attack as soon as they realize what happened here. Then we'll be ready for them," Corin replied. "Commander Vasquez, on behalf of the Coalition, I formally offer humanity full membership in our alliance. Your people have proven themselves worthy allies." Elena's smile was the first genuine one Zara had seen from her. "Thank you, Admiral. We accept." "There's just one condition," Corin added. "We want to learn everything you can teach us about fighting. The hegemony has been planning this war for decades. We need to be ready." "Admiral," Elena said, "we've been preparing for this war for over a century. We'll teach you everything we know." The Phoenix Rising began to move away from the asteroid field, heading toward Coalition space. As it passed the starlight dawn, Elena's voice came through the communication system one final time. "Captain Vex, thank you for not shooting us on sight. Your first contact protocols may have just saved both our species." "Commander Vasquez," Zara replied, "welcome home." The human ship jumped to quantum fold, disappearing in a flash of golden light. But its message was clear. Humanity had returned to the galaxy, and they brought with them the tools to defend freedom itself. The Phoenix had risen from the ashes, and the galaxy would never be the same. Asterisk.